Hello everyone, this is Sam Sim back with another bungalow build. I stick to whites and blacks again, but I also add quite a bit of blue accents to this house, which I think just kind of gives it a little bit of color. Again, I put a lovely little fireplace on the outside, and shockingly, I actually put a fireplace inside the home, which I don't do quite often. I tend to stick to having the fireplace outside and just have it look like curb appeal. So I put a front porch on this one. Right now it has the stone fencing, but I definitely don't keep those. I do a little bit more of the modern fence around the decks. The exterior of my house is yellow. I liked the roof at that like tan color. It kind of looked nice, so I didn't have to change it. Fireplace. Yeah, that's pretty much how the outside of the house looks. And there's the new fence that I told you that I was actually using. For the most part, I don't change anything after this point exterior wise. I just add a little more curb appeal and some bushes. I always like to use the cheat with the trees to make them smaller. I just find that during gameplay, if the trees are their actual size, they're quite large and they tend to get in the way. A lot of the bushes I also bring a couple sizes smaller, same with the rocks, just so I can add more filler. I find that the smaller and the more you have, the nicer the curb appeal kind of looks. Back deck, same as the front. I did try to put a little bit of a roof over top of the deck. Again, during gameplay, I really like typically having like something outside for them to do, whether it's raining or not, without my Sims getting angry that they're getting wet. I do believe that this house is a 2-bathroom, 3-bedroom, master suite home. I also have an office in there. It turned out quite well. A lot of times I tend to keep like the open layout, but in this house, for some reason, I stuck to the archways just to give it a little bit more boning around the house. So you can obviously see those chandeliers too. I love the big chandeliers, but in gameplay, they can be quite annoying. So all I do is I dumb them down 2 sizes. That way I can still use them. I stuck to grays, blues, whites, and a little bit of blacks on the inside of the house. I do like the way that brown kind of looks with that tile. So I did put some brown in there, but for the most part, accent-wise, it's white, blues, and blacks. So into the kitchen, I actually did the family extension pack, the family game pack, expansion pack, extension. That's funny. I stick to the blue. It actually looks really nice, the blue and the white. I did it much more family-like. I just didn't want so much of a modern look. I kind of really wanted it to be a little bit more homey. The vision I had for the family that would be in here would be a growing one, potentially quite a large number of kids, at least, maybe 4, where 2 and 2 share a bedroom. So I just really wanted to, fill the house with some knickknacks and just make it really feel as homey as possible. Not too cluttered. I don't really like the cluttered look. Plus, it can be a real big pain in the butt to constantly have to move the furniture that you want to put in certain spaces, certain little corners. It just makes it quite long, and it's not, after a little while, it gets old. So I did cram a little bit in there, but I didn't go excessive. I didn't want it to be too nuts. So again, there's a fireplace that I was mentioning. I actually included the fireplace inside, which I don't typically do, but I just thought it would go really nice with this home. So again, you'll see all the blues, the whites, the grays, the blacks. I really have fallen in love with the table behind the couch. I don't know, I just feel like, especially for like the homes you're trying to make look homey, having those little side tables behind the couch with like little accessories, I don't know, it just gives the house a little bit of like just a homey feel. It kind of makes me want one behind my couch in real life. I did do a little bit of painting put up. I like to change my paintings as I play, because a lot of times, as you're in gameplay, the steps that you have for your Sims as they evolve can change. So a lot of times I like to just put like some staple pictures in, but then as I play, I tend to rotate and switch them. which I don't know, it's just a habit I've had for quite some time. So now those are actually probably my favorite things that came with the tiny living are those succulents, those hanging succulents. I put them everywhere. You don't have to shrink them because they're already quite small and you can fit them into pretty much anything. So you'll see I use those quite a bit. So the one bathroom is obviously quite larger, so I do put a tub in there and then the shower in the smaller one. Bathrooms for me, I tend to just put a few of the necessities, and I don't like to clutter it too much. Obviously, everybody has their own personal preference. I just kind of put the basics. There again, I put the little succulents. Yeah, I like to keep the grid on as I'm building, especially if you're moving little knickknacks and you're using the Alt option sheet, because it just helps you align them specifically without having to constantly redo them. If the grid is on the ground, you kind of have a better feel for where you're placing everything. I know a lot of people don't like it. They say it gets in the way, but especially when I'm using those cheats like that right there, I really like the grid so you can see it quite well where you're putting it without having to move them around too much. Master bedroom, I did do an accent wall. I kind of fell in love with that accent wall as of late. Again, black blues. I tend to do the darker furniture for the master bedrooms or the like teenage Sims. I like to keep the pastels and the light colors to toddlers and little children. I don't know, it's just a personal preference. I find the lighter the furniture, the smaller the room can be. And then the darker the furniture, obviously the larger the room needs to be, just so it doesn't look too cluttered. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to put another video up this week. This will be my second for this week. I'm going to try and stick to probably maybe 2 a week. 2 or 3 a week should be good. I've been doing bungalows. I'm attempting to attack a 2-story soon. I don't know what it is about 2 stories. I just don't like gameplay with multiple floors. It drives me nuts when you can't see all your Sims at the same time. So I tend to play only on bungalows. A lot of basement, very rarely, but they're always a convenient extra space. But again, in gameplay, it can be a little annoying because you have to go down to the basement and you don't see any other Sims that aren't currently in the basement at that time. So it's a personal preference of mine, but I will, for you guys, just do a 2-story build. I probably won't play it, but I'm sure it'll be fun to build since I don't do them all that often. So here's the office I was talking to you about. I tried to stick to like a very homey, not too complicated office. A little bit of matchy-matchy, which again is a personal preference. I don't know. Some people like matchy-matchy, some people don't. I forgot to put a music room in this house, so that's not true. I told you it was a 3-bedroom. It's actually a 2-bedroom with an office and a music room. Obviously, it can be changed from a music room to another bedroom if need be. I attempted to do the build with the like built-in outdoor kitchen. That looked really cool with the yellow and the beige outside. Just something different that I don't really do all that often. Yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of this bungalow build. I hope you guys like it.